I'm sort of wondering, is it possible that the story we tell ourselves can have a way of affecting our purpose? They dig out gold. You can literally see that they dig out gold and diamond from the ground. But what you will, if you are looking what you will pay attention to is that gold is like every other dust around it. Fire will burn it. They will burn and burn and burn and burn until all the shafts are gone. Then you collect the gold. By the time you put it in the place, it looked very shiny. But it wasn't like that when it was in the natural state.
To have faith in yourself, and you need to understand what the faith journey you need to go on based on your established purpose. So we get them to have that spirit and mind connection and to develop a strategy for meditation and prayer to check in with the divine source constantly as you move from stage to stage. And then what we do is we look at establishing now what I call the proven strategy. So we look at the steps. So for example, he finds that with all of what he's doing, his strength lies in finance and marketing, and he loves to write. And also, so he's good at finance and marketing, and he loves to write, and he loves to speak. So what are the opportunities that you're finding is there for you, because God always gives you the spots and spaces and the destiny helpers when your time comes. We establish that route and we now write it down. Now he is giving his assignment to list what is the greatest point of accessibility and what is it that is urgent based on how his physical and financial needs, taking care of his family and his children, can go, and what he's prepared to sacrifice, what he needs to give up, what he needs to exchange, and what he needs to build on. That is where he's at this point. When he comes with that, we now set out a plan, a 3-year or a 5-year plan, and we give support. So he knows the strategic actions that he will take, the immediate actions, the average actions, long-term planning, and so on.
Thank you so much for that. That explanation is very, very clear. I'm sort of wondering, is it possible that the story we tell ourselves can have a way of affecting our purpose, or whether or not we want to accept this call or not? Because I look at it as a call, essentially.
Absolutely.
Please say something about that.
Absolutely. I had a client, and she the natural gift she has is artistic. She is good at creating flowers. She's good at doing wreaths. She's very good at doing books, designing books, doing the graphics for books, and so on. And she's very good at turning things in her home that we would reject, bottles and so, into creative art, vases, and so on. But for years, she did that normally because it's something she loves to do and it gives her some amount of joy. But she's a teacher. And she came to me because she says, at this stage and age in my life, I'm feeling so frustrated and so on. And I asked why. She said, I just feel that I'm not accomplishing. I feel worthless. I feel that I keep giving to people and I can't get to, I'm not getting the financial security that I want. And I say, but let's start. Of course, we start with the mindset. And she says, the mindset is that it would be unfair. It's guilt. She would be feeling guilty if she stepped away from teaching, because really she wants to do her design. She wants to do the graphic. They give her so much joy and the things that she has in her house and how people feel when she does those things for them. And she really feel that that's where her heart is and so on. But her husband is not agreeing and so on. And so in her mindset, she feels the fear of abandonment. She feels fear of being criticized or judged. And she just feels that she would be betraying her family if she chose to do something that she loved or desired, because the teaching in her mind would have brought in the funds. And when we got through our program, the first mindset she had to change was that she was worthy. And when she looked through her home, she found that as the eldest child, she was always serving others. She was given a lot of responsibility by her parents, and she could not really live the way she wanted to live, or even be free in herself. Those are the terms she used, because so much was banking on her. And when her siblings were not doing well, or when they disobeyed, or when they gave their parents stress, she felt this great deal of guilt. And so she felt that she must be intact. She must actually be always for people. And the mindset is that a lot of persons are depending on me, and I am a failure if I do anything else, even if I'm uncomfortable. So those things came into her. She is not worth it, and so on. And she now got convince herself that this is my lot, and this is how life will always be, and I must always be there for person, and so on. And so I had to make her see that you can be there for persons and also be there for yourself, and you cannot pour from an empty cup. The long and short of it is that mindset brought her into sitting down and working out a plan to do her business on the sideline. And she made the adjustment, she went on leave, and she went firmly into working out a business plan. She created an Instagram account, she advertised her where she made persons who benefited from her, gave her testimonials, and so on. And she has started a very successful business that is bringing in twice as much as what she did with teaching. And her husband is now saying, I want to do, where I am now is not really where I want it to be. So I'm now going to have to look at doing for myself too. And so her home has become more peaceful. It has bonded her with her children who join her now, because it is now a business in their mind. And they are looking that my mother had these skills and talents and so on. They are looking at the branches that they can assist. They are looking at how they can share and market her products. Her husband does the same. And there is a unity in her family now, because her dream has become their dream.
That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And that leads me to an important point. Because when we talk about this issue, of course, we talk about it a lot here in this podcast, and of course, also what I do, which is relating to personal development. You get to a point that I usually come to this part of the conversation, which is the refining of the skill. That now you have a purpose, which is what you are going to fulfill at the end of the day. But usually you don't have the skill to do that. Because when we are born, even though we are born with all the resources that we need, because really we are born with all the resources, but all the resources are in crude state. Okay, a good example that I usually give here is when you take out pure gold. No, you go to places like Nigeria or Sierra Leone or Ghana, or they dig out gold there, no, or Congo. They dig out gold. You can literally see that they dig out gold and diamond from the ground. But if you are looking what you will pay attention to is that gold is like every other dust around it. It's not like the gold is shiny. It's not shiny yet. It's a dust, like every other dust of the earth. But see what they put the gold to. They put it to fire. Fire will burn it. They will burn and burn and burn and burn until all the shafts are gone. Then you collect the gold. By the time you put it in the place, it looked very shiny. But it wasn't like that when it was in the natural state. So I think that in our natural state, we are like that dust, that gold. But if we want to shine, we need to refine ourselves. Okay. Now, refining ourselves now, meaning going into the fire. We are going to burn out the bad part in us that are hiding the shining.